Hey guys, how you doing today? Today's video is going to be you do not fit into their mold. You don't fit into their mold. Now, what does that mean? It means that you don't conform to the expectation or the standards that a particular group or person has set. This is implying that you are different. You're unique. You don't align with their preferred way of being or doing things. See, think about a mold as a container that shapes something into a specific form. Fitting the mold means conforming to a particular set of characteristics or being formed into a type of person, someone that you're not. Okay? What this title is trying to say is that you're different. You are not following uh, expectations of people or behaviors or styles or trend. You're set apart. You're not fitting into that mold because you are doing things differently. Let me give you a verse. Jeremiah 1 verse 5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you and I ordained you a prophet to the nation." Now, this is God telling Jeremiah that he knew him before the earth was created. He formed Jeremiah in the womb. Uh, Jeremiah was destined to be a prophet. Now, this verse is giving us the guarantee, and it's also reminding us that God is in control of all our lives and our destiny. God knew each and every one of us before we were even born. We are all unique. We all have a unique purpose. We all have our own identity. We all have something about us, that's different. Not only in our facial expressions or, our colors, but God created us. And every person that he created has a uniqueness. Now, Psalms 139, verse 13 to 14 says, "For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made." Now, this verse also conveys that God created each person with a purpose, that they are valuable. God created people with care, with love, with attention. No one is a mistake. Nobody. So God knew. Now, what I'm getting to, why you don't fit into their mold. Now, it can also mean that you're a mystery. How everybody may translate you or how they may perceive you to be is not how God sees you. You're special. You have a unique path. You have your own story, your own journey. You have your own personal destination. No one can create that for you. Unless you leave the direction that God has for you. Now, someone else may try to form your destiny, your journey for you, because you may let them. What I'm trying to say is that you have to embrace who you are. You have to know yourself. You got to be aware of who God created you to be. You got to understand yourself. You got to know your passion, your strength, your weaknesses, your faults, your quirk, your little nicks and knacks, things that no one else can understand. You got to know your growth, your quirks. That's what I'm trying to say. You got to embrace the trueness of who you are. See, you don't fit into their mold because probably from your past life experience. You're probably, from your experience, are taught to be strong. And now you're probably comfortable with yourself. Hopefully, from your past experience, you're comfortable with yourself. You may even have found a new sense of confidence, not in a cocky way, but you have found a confidence that's given you liberation. You just simply don't let people's opinion dictate your choices anymore. That's why you don't fit into their mold. You probably have learned that people's approval don't add value to your life, and their disapproval won't take anything away from you that God has created you to have. You don't fit in their mold because God didn't create you like them. You're different. You were created in the likeness of whom God wanted you to be. And that has given you inherently value and dignity. You do not fit into their mold because you have found the part of yourself that you lost in this dark world when you were trending with them. You no longer live a life of sin. You're not perfect, but you are aligning your life with the will of God. You're in daily connection and communication with God, and you've probably have a repentant heart. You repented your life. You learn to forgive. You learn to love again. You understand, forgiveness. You understand how to love and love humanity. You understand what it means that the life is God has given you to make a purpose in this world. You do not fit into their mold. Now, you don't fit in their mold because you, like I said, you're special. You're positive now. You don't want to be a part of that mess. That's why you don't fit in their mold. Now, this phrase, let me stop for a second. It can be positive, which it is positive, and at the same time, it may have a negative effect, depending how you take it. Now, the positive side is all the things that I have mentioned, why you don't fit in that mold. And to simplify it is because of your uniqueness. You're not following expected behavior, styles, or trends. You're not following anyone's commands. You have embraced your authenticity. You know your strength. You know your weaknesses, I've said. You found your growth to improve in. You're comfortable with yourself now. You have a silent confidence. I have to say silent confidence because sometimes people think confidence is you're cocky. So you have a silent confidence. You've become humble. You have a forgiving heart. You are aware that God created you for a purpose and a plan. You made God number one in your life. You know you're worthy. You know your value. You've changed your lifestyle. Your faith has changed your thoughts and actions and your outlook on life. That's why you don't fit in their mold. Now, you know that God exists because God has given you hope and comfort and a sense of purpose, and He's given you peace. That's why you don't fit in their mold. Now, There is a negative side because there are some people who fit into the mold that they let a person or group have put them into. Then this person is the type of person who conform to a particular set of expectation or a standard that someone or a group has established for them. This person who is formed in their mold is probably acting, behaving in a way that aligns with what this person has preferred or formed an image of whom they should be. This person who's fitting in their mold is probably sacrificing their own individuality to be accepted. This person is probably suppressing their own uniqueness, their qualities, to match what someone else wants them to be. Now, this is someone who is fitted in their mold. This person is not a leader. They're a follower. This person is not taking charge of their lives, of their life. This person is allowing someone to exert pressure on them to behave in a certain way. This person has lost their selves. They have lost their identity. They have lost their personality. They have lost their interests in things that they once liked just to fit into that mold. This person is probably acting like the people that's in their midst to impress them. This person is probably following trends, like I said, in styles and living for, what they see. This person, I can tell you most definitely, have disconnected from God. And they let their love for the world, the worldly things, hinder their relationship with God. In 1 John 2, verse 15, it says, "Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them." So that person who is fitting in their mold does not have a closeness, a connection, a relationship with the Father. They may say they do, but they don't. You have to believe that you are part of something in this world that God has created. And a person who fits in a mold believes that they are part of something that is larger than themselves. And in actuality, nothing is bigger than God. The support, the collective strength that this person is seeking, it can be obtained simple through God's word, through increase of their faith, reflection on God's promise. Psalms 55 verse 22 says, "Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you, and he will never let the righteous be shaken." So, if you fit into a mold that a person or group have already designed for you, you're living a destructive, forceful life. You're being molded into who they want you to be, not who God created you to be. Okay? You're most likely allowing someone, to pressure you. You're most likely losing yourself. You're not enjoying yourself. You're not happy. You may smile, but you're not living the trueness of who God said, who he created you to be. Remember, God said he knew you before you were even in your mother's womb. Instead of you focusing on letting someone create a life for you, why don't you live the life that God has already sought out for you? Instead of you seeking validation from other people, why don't you seek the connection with God? See, God sees beyond outward appearance. And God is concerned with our true intention in our hearts and our motives. God don't care about who you are part of, the group that you're a part of, the car that you're driving, how much money you have in the bank. He cares about your heart, your faith, your connection with him, your obedience to follow his word. See, when you please God, you are pleasing your life. You're pleasing yourself. You're seeking the peace that he has promised to give you. When you please God, you're in a deeper relationship with him, and you will experience his presence in your life. And Matthew 6 verse 21, it says, where your treasures is, there your heart will be also. So if your treasure is for the world, your heart is there. But if your treasure is your faith and is with God, then your heart is with God. When God is the main focus of your heart and he is the main focus of your life, you'll be truly content and you'll be fulfilled. So I would rather not be fitted in the mold that someone is creating for me, so I can have the closeness of God. I walked that path before. That path, the path of the world, the path of being controlled, the path of, not making my own decision, the path of confusion. All these lead to that. Just to be a part of the world. Where now I'm at peace, I'm content, I'm trying to align with the will of God, and I'm working. I'm a work in progress. But I'm in a good place. And I pray for you that you don't fit in their mold, so that you can be a blank canvas and given the opportunity to correct mistakes in your life, to repaint your story, because God gives you the opportunity every day that you wake up. So hopefully you are part of us who do not fit in their mold. If you fit in their mold, you're a follower, not a leader. You've lost your connection. You have to get out of that inner circle. You got to get out of that cycle. You got to get rid of your pride and your greed and your intent of seeing things through the vision of how the world wants you to see it, and start looking through the eyes that whom God created you to be. Increase your faith, change your life, rid yourself of all this dead weight of things that are non-existence. Because in the day of the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, all these things that you are following, the trends, the style, the cars, the money, the fashion, just being a part of a group, wanting to be wanted, when you have a Father who is there, who can give you all the support and love that you need. And that coming day, none of those things will have any importance. So hopefully you do not fit in their mold. That means that you are walking in the right path. You are not perfect, but you're leading in the right direction. But if you fit in that mold of that group, of that person, of that industry, of that cycle, of whatever it is, you know what it is. And your Father, if you come to him, he will direct you. He'll let you know that you're going the wrong way, but you know. So take yourself out of that mold, break that mold, and be the person that God created you to be. So at the end, that Jesus can win in your life. So I love you with the love of Christ, and I pray to see you on the next video. You do not fit into their mold.